Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2, and today I'm going to be giving you part 4 of What If Naruto Became the God of Space, Time and Will. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Was neglected and reborn as a son of darkness. And also guys, over in Anime King 3, I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto was created by the Sasuke clan, so go ahead and check that out and enjoy guys. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying talking back to all of you. And yeah, remember to turn on that bell notification and stay posted. And without further ado, what do you say begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last time we left off, Naruto was never so shocked in his life as he stood in front of his parents. Of all the people that he expected to be here, his parents was not one that ever crossed his mind, as they looked so happy seeing him, smiles on their faces, but Naruto was boiled on the inside. He asked them where they have been, as their response was to tell him that they had to leave because of chakra that they seal inside of Narume. As they didn't know how to react around him, they came up with some rather stupid excuse. As Naruto started to lose his cool, he stepped out as he warned them to never show their face in front of him again, otherwise he won't be responsible for what he did next. Hiruzen was livid as he got up and yelled at them, telling them the things that Naruto went through. As Kushina was confused, she thought that Naruto was a hero. She walked around the village. She heard that the people said that he was one of the great genins, greatest, but that was after they found out who his parents were, not before. As Naruto had been through so much crap, he was almost violated by the villagers, but Hiruzen had saved him. The two of them were dumbstruck at that as Kushina was crying. Meanwhile, Naruto returned home. Zabuza and the others never felt so much malice as Kakashi and Team 7 came over as Naruto started to release some attacks that leveled the entire place. The buildings were shaking. Konoha was in a state of panic. Hiruzen arrived as he tore off his Hokage clothing to show the war armor underneath as he and Naruto threw down. It was the only way to calm Naruto down as they fought. They clashed viciously, shaking the grounds as they destroyed several pieces of land around the area, blowing through trees. It took a while for Naruto to calm down, but he finally did, as Hiruzen was lying there feeling exhausted, as Naruto thanked him for that. But Naruto finally calmed down. Some time passed as Team 7 came over. While they were shocked, Sasuke didn't understand that he could go through so much and yet remain so sane throughout all of it. As they spoke, his bond with Team 7 grew deeper right there, as Naruto gave them weapons and armor as well, so they can be ready for the upcoming chunin exams. He also met Gaara as well, as Gaara tried to exert his will upon him, but Naruto made him realize that that was nothing compared to him, surprising Gaara the power that he possessed. So with that, the chunin exam finally came around. As Naruto did not spoke to his parents, he had warned them to not show themselves. The village was shocked, many of them glad that your former Hokage was back, but some of them that knew Naruto was upset that they had left him here as he had went through a lot when he was younger. But Naruto and his team made his way towards the chunin exams. As they arrived there, as Naruto was decked out in a new outfit, Sakura and Sasuke had the armor on. It was so slick it fit right under their clothing. So with that, they made their way. They ran into several individuals as Ino came in, as she declared herself to be Naruto's wife, even though nothing was official yet. With him reviving his clan, she declared herself as his wife. As they did the first part of the test, as they got through rather easily in the Jonin lounge, the others were talking. As Kushina was asking Hiruzen if Naruto would ever forgive them. Naruto had met his siblings Naruto and Narume. They talked to him so casually as Naruto tried to step towards him, but he grabbed her throat, as he made it painfully clear to her that he didn't want to know them and he didn't like them. As he released her, they backed away from him hearing that. So with that, they went through the first part, and then they moved on to the second part of the test. As they went to the forest of death, they decided to camp out for the night because there was no teams around. But Sakura got curious as they were in the hideout, as she asked, was his life really that bad in Konoha? As she really wanted to know. Naruto sat down as he figured they should know, as they were a part of the same team. So yeah guys, basically that's what I thought. If you guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself. And also guys, remember to go ahead and check out Anime King and Anime King 3. Yes, that's right. I need to have 3 channels and I post what fun every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead, click that subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And yeah, without further ado, let's begin this new episode, shall we? Let's get right into it. Was your life really that bad in Konoha? Sakura said, and she looked over towards Naruto. I guess I should start from the beginning. We are teammates, it's only fair, said Naruto, as he closed his eyes. Well, after I was born, my parents abandoned me due to certain circumstances regarding me. The village hated me. Even as a boy, I had as many assassinations as a Kage of a medium-sized village. I was put into many orphanages, but they all kicked me out after a while. From the age of 4 to 6, I stayed in an apartment paid for by the Hokage. During that time, I had to learn how to live on my own. I learned to cook, to wash, to repair, anything to take care of the house. It was difficult, of course, as stores always kicked me out, so I have to scavenge to survive. At that time, every once in a while I would get another attempt, or beaten by drunken villagers. However, one day my apartment was lit on fire. I had to jump out. When I crash landed in an alley, there was a mob waiting for me, the ones that set the fire. It was one of the worstest beating I ever got. Broken bones, and many more. This continued for a year until one fateful night. By that point, Sakura had tears in her eyes, as she couldn't believe what she was hearing. Sasuke's face had a frown on it, as he couldn't believe either. Once I became 8, I went to the Hokage and took part in a special department of workers. I learned how to fight there. After that, once I became 12, I was given my inheritance. He finished. As Sakura was crying, tears pooling down her face, but she tried not to make too much noise, as she wiped her tears. Sasuke spoke. I thought my brother killing my entire clan was the worst, but you had to deal with so much, and yet, how are you still sane? I am not, said Naruto. What do you mean? Said Sakura. Before I went to that department, a Yamanaka, ordered by the Hokage, seal off all the painful experience I had. All I remember is glimpses. Well, it's better this way, said Naruto, because if I were to remember more, I doubt I would ever be the same. Well, enough of that, said Naruto. We need to sleep, it's important for us to save our strength. With a nod, they slept in sleeping bags, with Naruto taking the first watch. The next morning, they erased all signs of them being there. As he turned towards them, you guys ready? The both of them nodded. Alright, move out. And with that, they moved. After an hour or so, Naruto stopped, raising his hand, his teammates stopping as well. Stay here, he said. With that, he was gone. Naruto reappeared on top of a branch, looking down towards the rain team, as he pulled out 2 kunais. As he walked over their heads, he then dropped himself. The moment he was low enough, he thrust out the kunais in 2 of their throats, as they collapsed on the ground gargling. The third teammate leaped away as he flashed to hand sign, water release, while water wave. He yelled in anger, releasing a jet of water towards Naruto out of his mouth. The attack hit head on. The Rain Ninja prepared himself to see a body, but he saw none. Instead, what he felt was a hand on his back. Try mine. Wing stab. Vacuum great spear. His body was blown away as the wind. There were small blades inside of it, like a vacuum. It tore him apart. And the Rain Ninja was too close, there was no chance of him surviving. as he was destroyed. He searched them, but he frowned. Another heaven scroll, he hardly had that one. As Naruto then turned his gaze, he came face to face with a snake. This snake was 10 times larger than him. As it hissed before launching forward, wind style. Gale palm, said Naruto. The force of wind slammed into the snake, throwing it back as Naruto flashed right above it and launched several kunais. Enhanced by wind, they split through its skull. The snake's body poofed away. As Naruto landed, a summoning. Shit, Naruto thought as he turned to spray off, but he was surrounded by hundreds of snakes. He had enough as he held out his hand, wind style. Vacuum serial wave! A torrent of wind exploded from his hands that decimated all the snakes. He then moved at top speed, whipping from tree branch to tree branch. As he was moving as fast as he could, a giant black snake erupted from the ground as it hissed towards him as Naruto jumped. He pulled out his wing blade as it was coated in wind as he drove it in the snake's skull and moved. He kept on running as he split into the snake. Running down, he sliced right through it as he poofed away. He kept on moving as he flashed from tree to tree. He arrived as he saw Orochimaru's fangs in Sasuke's neck. Damn it, he cursed. Orochimaru turned towards him with a smirk. Hello, Naruto-kun. Did you like my little gift? Orochimaru released Sasuke as Naruto moved and took off his head. As the body turned to mud though. Shit, as Naruto jumped from where he was, kunais embedded in the ground. As a sword was thrust towards him, Naruto sliced the sword in half, his wind blade literally slicing it. Wind style! Ear bullets, said Naruto. As Orochimaru was pelted with ear bullets, only for him to turn to mud once again. As Naruto landed, wind cutter. As the area that he landed at was destroyed, massive wind blades shredding the ground. Naruto moved as blades clashed against blades, as he looked Orochimaru directly in the eyes. Sakura on the other hand had pulled Sasuke away as she was tending to him. It happened so fast. This guy just showed up. He didn't talk or anything. He seemed like he was in a hurry. He had assaulted her with one hit and sent her sailing. He was just so fast. He had then gripped onto Sasuke and wrapped around his body and bit Sasuke in the neck. Orochimaru saw there was an opening. As he saw the girl, he flashed away as he rushed towards her, appearing above her as he drove a kunai down towards her skull. That should buy him some time. But Naruto appeared and blocked the kunai. As Naruto thrust his blade through Orochimaru, but it was a wood. A substitution. The real Orochimaru appeared and bit into his neck. Naruto screamed in pain, but he used his blade and slashed across his face. Orochimaru screamed as blood burst out. Orochimaru flashing away, gripping his face and running away. Black veins start to arrive where he bit Naruto, as Naruto fell forward unconscious. As Sakura caught him, she was panicking by now as the both of them were out. Damn it. And she quickly pulled the both of their bodies away to get them somewhere safe. 3 hours later, Sakura was on guard protecting them as they were still unconscious. But then they arrived. Give us the Uchiha. The boy that was wrapped up in all bandages said. Sakura pulled out her kunai as she stood there. He approached, but he stopped his partner, the other one. As he threw a kunai to show the trap. Pathetic. As they moved forward, Sakura cut a string beside her. As a massive log came swinging, Zaku turned as he held out his hand and released a blast that destroyed it. You think that will be enough to take us down? Pathetic. He then rushed forward only for him to be kicked away. As Rock Lee landed in the scene. Do not worry, Sakura-chan, he said. I will protect you with my life. Meanwhile in the tree, Naruto was groaning and twisting. Unbeknownst to them, a white snake was slithering around his mind, going through a unique scene. It was like a castle. Eventually, the white snake went down some stairs, which were lit with black flames. It descended further and further until it arrived in Naruto consciousness. A door, a metal door that was covered by sealing tags, papers. It was chained up. The snake seemed to smirk as he spit at acid from his mouth that started to melt the chains. It had no idea what it was doing, as it just released the door. Before it could move though, there was a roar. A gigantic wolf came out and roared. The snake was turned to dust instantaneously. But that was not all of it. It has just released the most horrible thing in the world, as it also brought back a memory. A 7-year-old Naruto got assaulted by the villagers. It was bad. He was chained up and tied up, pulled away from his home, treated like a wild animal. Even ninjas were in the mob. He got stabbed in his arms and legs to make sure that he wouldn't run again, as he was viciously beaten, taken a far distance away so the villagers could have their time torturing him, so the Hokage would not find them. The members that were kept away, the snake had just freed them all. As the 7-year-old child was assaulted, before he could black out, though, the last thing he remembered was the Hokage and envoy arriving. The Hokage was beyond furious. He did not hesitate. He slaughtered the people when he saw what happened to the young child, as the envoys killed off the rest of them. Even ninjas were in the crowd as they were slaughtered that day. Back in the real world, Naruto's body started to pulsate. As his body kept on pulsating and twisting, his heart was beating a lot faster. Sweat started to gather on his forehead as his body was pulsating even more. Sasuke had woken up. As Rock Lee had been taken out by the guy with the gauntlet in his arm, he did something to his ear. Team 9 and 10 was also there as well. Sasuke had woke up as he asked Sakura who did this to her. But before Sasuke could do anything, they all stopped, as they felt the energy coming from the tree. It was unlike anything they ever felt before. The ground started to shake with power. Dark lightning started to crackle off his very beam. As his body started to spike, the tree exploded outwards. His hair was swapping colors, as it seems like he was affecting the very air around him. His hair changing, his nails turned to claws, his teeth turned to fangs. His eyes were a sickly gold with a slit in the center. Cracks appearing all over his skin as black lights were appearing through those cracks as he started to get larger and larger. He started to scream, the curse mark on his neck started to haze away, a black haze leaving him. He screamed out as it spread through the entire forest. He then exploded, much to their shock and horror. But a single golden orb was there that shot a wave of energy into the sky. The clouds darkened, the heavens cried. As rain started to come down, lightning started to clash in the heavens. Thunder roared as the gold beam grew more powerful as it was howling and roars coming from it. Soon it slowly decreased as it became lower and lower, until it formed a figure. It was a man. He stood at 5 feet 9 inches, with pitch black hair, and a golden bang in the shape of a bolt. His eyes were void, gold with slits in them, similar to a wolf. His body was stacked on with muscles. He didn't have sleeves. His pants had turned to shorts, as he gripped the side of his head and roared to the heaven. A black beam, twice the size of the golden one, shot into the sky. Everywhere in the forest, all animals started to roar as well. The beam of power was felt in the entire elemental nation, but not just there alone, in the entire existence. Orochimaru had no idea what he just did. He just started the prophecy. At the Hokage's tower, Hiruzen was there along with Jiraiya, Minato and Kushina, and the Jonin senseis. As they all looked on, a look of absolute fear was in the eyes of Hiruzen. It was the same power as 5 years ago, but this one was so much stronger and potent. God, have mercy on us all, said Hiruzen to himself. Meanwhile, at the realm of Makai, as Makai was in an uproar, lightning, lava exploded from the ground. Lightning shock all around. Every demon felt the power outside the gates of the 9th level. A small army of demons stood, as they were the armies of the 9 Bijus. Taken from their summoning realm, mutated, they served the 9 Bijus, and of course, their master. As they felt the power, as they yelled, "All hail the seed of the Shinju! All hail the seed of the Shinju!" As their superior shut them up. "Demons of the seed," he said, "inform the rest of the 9. And Bukai was no different as well. Many of the residents looked down from the clouds, as they felt the black mist rising. This city was in a lockdown immediately as gods turned to look at it. In a far corner of Makai, there was a white castle. Inside, a group of what looked like to be elves. They took out blades. The tree lives. The tree lives! As their commander shouted, begin the plan, start the arrival, and the preparations for our god. Back in the Forest of Death, the Genins had no idea what the hell was going on, they just knew that Naruto was causing it. Soon the beam died down, as Naruto stood there, his eyes looking around the area. Black aura surrounded him. As he seemed to be sniffing, he then focused on Zaku. As Zaku tilted his head, as Naruto was gone, Zaku cried out in agonizing pain, confusing the ninjas around him. As he dropped to the ground, his arms were spewing blood from all the open wounds, and there was a lot of them, like a lot. As Naruto looked towards his hands, Dosu in a panic shot his strongest sound wave towards him. It slammed viciously into Naruto, but yet, he didn't even move. As he then turned and roared, releasing a roar that sent Dosu sailing. He was moving so fast that when his back connected to that tree, as there was a cracking sound as he collapsed. As smoke came from Naruto's mouth as he turned towards the last member, the female of the team. She started to back away. Please, she said, as she covered her head. Don't kill me. As she felt something reach past her hands, he gripped her throat as her eyes widened as he picked her off the ground. She started to struggle as he sniffed her, before he bit in her throat as he dropped her to the ground. He then vanished. He arrived at Dosu, who had several broken ribs. Give me your scroll. You can take the other one. Stop him from bleeding out. But the girl is mine, said Naruto. Dosu did not object as he tossed the scroll and grabbed Zaku and ran for his life. He ran as he took the earth scroll. As it poofed away in his hand, it just vanished. He then turned towards Sasuke, who looked at him. As Sasuke was still pulsing with a mark, Naruto vanished and appeared behind him as he gripped Sasuke's neck. Sasuke screamed out rather loudly as Naruto destroyed the cursed mark by merely setting his hand on it. Sasuke then collapsed as Naruto picked him up and threw him over his shoulder. He walked over and picked up Kin as well. Sakura, he said, let's go. Sakura nodded. She was scared as hell. But those marks, they were gone off Sasuke and Naruto was okay now. As Sakura didn't say anything as they moved, as it didn't take them too long to arrive at the tower, he placed a seal on Kin's back. Before he pulled out 2 of the scrolls and tossed them. A chunin will come. Tell him to summon the Hokage, said Naruto. Sakura nodded as Naruto collapsed on the ground. As Aruka appeared, what's happening? The shaky Sakura looked towards him. Call the Hokage, she said, her voice trembling a bit. She still didn't understand what was going on. The presence, just by being near Naruto, was just so, as she collapsed on the ground. Meanwhile, in Naruto's mindscape, no longer did it have the appearance of a dungeon. It looked like a dusty throne room now. Long and white hallway made of black pristine marble. A few dust here and there, red banners on the wall, as the place seemed to have been here for a long time. Glancing up, he saw spiderwebs on the roof. As he saw chandeliers, some of the lights broken, the gold obscured with rust. As he came across 10 circular steps, on top was a throne. The throne appeared to be one of a conqueror. It was made of black metal, with what appeared to be 10 tails that unite the throne together. The arms of the throne had a wolf head. The mouths were open. Above the throne room was a circular window. Surprisingly, it had his insignia on it. He looked at the throne once again as he noticed 2 things. One, the left had a clear glass orb in its mouth. 2, the other one had a chain, black ring. He tried to pull the ring but nothing happened. But when he pulled the orb, it shot out with a golden light as it spread all over the room until it stopped right in front of him. Welcome, the orb said, as a voice came from it. As Naruto felt the power from it, he took a step back. What are you? He said, as a laugh escaped from the orb. Really? I thought you would know. Your ancestor. As Naruto raised his eyebrow. I got many ancestors, he said. The orb laughed once again, of course. How about this? I am the one that once shook this world to its core. I am the one who exists and changed everything. I am the one above all the ones. As Naruto immediately understood as he fell to one knee. Shinju-sama, he said. The orb glowed until it turned to a man that was seemingly made from wood. No need to kneel in front of me, my legacy. Where are we? Said Naruto. The Shinju glow a bit, your mind. Or rather, should we say your reformed mind. Do you remember what happened? Not much. All I remember is slicing Orochimaru through. The rest are unclear pictures. Orochimaru did something rather stupid, which worked to our advantage and disadvantage. He awakened my power hidden in my will, which was placed on you. Right now you're beyond a demigod. You are what you would be at the age of 15. The bad thing is the way you activate your power, along with the fact that at the age of 16, you will become a full, ageless god. The good thing is it gives us time to get used to your new power. Until the time where you become the full Shinju, I shall reside inside of you. As Naruto nodded, I thank you for that. This power, he said, looking at his hands. It's so strong and potent, almost intoxicating. I keep on hearing my instincts, they're so loud. Don't worry, you will learn how to control it. Oh, you got this tower by your instincts as well. You have made a slave. What? Said Naruto. A god, much less a primordial one. You are allowed to take as much mates as you like. And also, slaves as well. And no, it cannot be undone. Her fate is bound to yours. If you die, she dies. However, it's not the other way around. Well, okay, said Naruto. I can't help it, I guess. Is there anything else? While I'm in this state, the power is too intoxicated for you right now. So your libido will be increased to beyond a normal level. You will understand once you wake up. Also, until you learn how to control this power, the more you battle, the crazier you will get. Finally, you can now control 2 god weapons at this time, and 10 holy and demonic weapons, as they continue to converse about his new status. Time skip. As Naruto opened his eyes, as he was in a room inside the tower, he got off the bed. There was a mirror to the side. As he touched his black hair. So this is me at 15, huh? Well, I do look good, he said, examining his face. But his clothing. As he unsealed some clothing, but it was too short. So he used bandages to wrap around the legs where the pants did not go. But he liked the shirt, as it was a bodysuit so it stretched. And not to mention it showed off his muscles. The preparations has begun, said Naruto. Soon this world will bow to the power of the Alpha. As his eyes glow ominously, the power was so intoxicated. Time skip. The days finally came to an end, as Hiruzen was speaking to all of the Genins that made it so far. However, almost all eyes were on Naruto. Whispers were flying in the air, however Naruto paid him no mind. Instead, he worked hard on controlling his emotions because of his power rushing to the surface so quickly. He was finding it difficult to control it that much. For one thing, his memories had been unsealed, and for the past few days he relived all of them, and it brought so much rage. For the village, and for his parents as well for leaving him here. His sisters, on the other hand, was a complicated matter. He didn't hate them, unless you count how naive they were. Just because he didn't hate them mean that he cared for them, or if they pissed him off he wouldn't show them any remorse. As he looked a bit as he saw that Kushina and Minato stood next to Hiruzen. Kushina smiled a bit, seeing Naruto look at her. He turned his head, ignoring her, as the proctor Hayate started to speak. Due to your number, 3 of you will fight at once in the preliminary rounds. The winner between the 3 will get a spot in the final matches. This board will draw names at random. Once the fighters are selected, you will go to the upper level if your name is not selected. As he nodded to Uncle who pressed the button, as the board lit up with names. It went through names until the first one, Sasuke Uchiha, the second one, Choji Akimichi, and the third one, Ron. King Jaiki. Be careful, said Naruto as he looked towards that Ron guy. Sasuke simply gave a nod, as they hadn't spoken what happened in the forest till now. The Genins all remained in a triangle formation. Hayate raised his hand. All of you ready? He asked. They nodded. Alright, begin! Sasuke sent 5 explosive kunais towards Ron. As the explosive notes went off, he then rushed towards Choji who transformed into the human bullet tank. Sasuke jumped above it as he sliced with his blade. Choji came to a stop, blood dripping on the ground, as he collapsed to one knee. Sasuke looked at him. Choji, he said. I know that you don't want to fight me. Just give up, Sasuke said. As Choji wasn't really a bad guy, and Sasuke didn't really take any pleasure out of hurting him. No one will accuse you of surrendering to a stronger opponent or because you don't want to hurt someone you know, said Sasuke. Choji looked up. He was right. He didn't want to fight any Konoha ninjas. Proctor, I forfeit, he said. Hayate nodded, leaving Ron and Sasuke alone. As Choji was taken to the infirmary, Sasuke flashed through hand sign. Fire Star. Fireball Jutsu as he spewed a massive flame. Ron made a cross with his arms as the fire clashed against him yet. What the hell, he was holding it off. The sleeves of his shirt burned but his arms were completely fine. Sasuke leaped above the flames as he brought his sword down. To his surprise, Ron caught it. Sasuke then focused on the arms. His skin. It seemed to be replaced by black steel. Ron smiled, steel release. Impervious armor, he said. As he thrust the fist at Sasuke's face, Sasuke moved just in time though, as it hit his shoulder and he was launched away. It was tough as Sasuke felt the force. What the hell is that, Sasuke said. Steel release. My clan specialize in it. Our body can be surrounded in tough steel and make us impenetrable. Your normal weapons can't pierce me. Sasuke smirked at that. We shall see about that, he said. He rushed towards Ron, flashing through hand signs, before he thrust his fist out towards Ron's stomach. Ron looked at him like he was crazy. Are you stupid? He asked. As he surrounded his stomach with metal, Sasuke's fist clashed against it. But Sasuke then looked up with a smirk, as he said his technique name. Lightning release. Lightning rod! Ron widened his eyes as the metal amplified lightning and burned his insides as he screamed. He collapsed to his knees, smoke whipping off his body, as the steel vanished off him, before he collapsed to the ground. As the medics come and take him away. Winner, Sasuke Uchiha Hayate said. The next match was then announced. Narumi Namikaze, Sai, and Darui. As Narumi came to a stop. Wish me luck, big brother, she said. As Naruto didn't even open his eyes. She lowered her head as she calmly made her way, as her parents noticed the exchange. As she entered the arena, her eyes studied her opponent quickly. As she looked towards the Kumo ninja, he has a sword. So he must be proficient in Kinjutsu. From the looks of it, chakra metal. Kumos are known for their lightning user, so probably skilled in lightning Kinjutsu. As for him, his Tonto, she said looking towards Sai, indicates such. However, I have no idea what's in that scroll. It may be Fuinjutsu skills, she thought to herself. As she unsheathed her Kodiki blade, as she kept her other arm free, as Darui took his sword out, as Sai was ready with his scroll. Begin, the proctor said. As Narumi shot forward towards Darui, the both of their blades coated in chakra. A loud clang was heard as sparks flew from the clash. They struggled, trying to overpower each other until they both leap away as a lion, pounce where they once were. He can animate his paintings, both of them thought, as they saw the ink iron. Sai drew more and more lions and beasts rushing at them. Narumi landed as she flashed through hand sign. Fire style. Fireball jutsu, she said, as she melted them back into ink. Sai drew some more monsters. He sent them towards Darui, as he then brushed towards Narumi. His blade extended outwards. Seeing all of them coming towards him, Darui slammed his blade in the ground as he went through hand sign. Lightning release. Thunderbolt, he said, as a wave of bolts shot from his blade, as they shot the beast as they turned to puddle of inks. He grabbed his blade and rushed towards Narumi as well. She pushed Sai away as she pulled out her other blade, holding two blades in each hand now, as a Kinjutsu fight happened between them as they clashed, sparks going everywhere. But she had enough as she delivered a brutal kick to the stomach of Sai. She used the momentum to propel above Darui. As she flipped away from him and landed, she pulled out 3 pairs of kunais. With explosive tags attached as she launched them all. Darui was forced to dodge. Sai, on the other hand, who was just viciously kicking the stomach, was blown away as he crashed into the wall. As a kunai stuck right beside his head, he looked up. As it went off, a blast of chakra with a weird sound came out. An unusual sound that knocked his mind into pure unconsciousness. Darui flashed through hand signs. Lightning release, he said. Her eyes went wide. Black Panther! The panther rushed towards her. She cut through handstands rather quickly, wind style drilling, ear bullet, as she spat enormous ears of wind. A large explosion ensued. The both of them did not give up as they rushed towards each other, as she had her left arm on her other blade, her other blade extending forward. She blocked his blade with her own as she flicked the other one up. He pulled a kunai and tossed it, but she twisted her blade out of his grasp and sliced him along the arm, before she twists and delivers a brutal kick to his stomach, throwing him back. She rushed forward and threw an explosive tag. It exploded, throwing him right into her. Her fist cracked in his face, knocking him back into the wall. She tossed her kunai once again, and the sound went off along with the explosion of chakra that knocked him into blissful unconsciousness. Wiping the sweat off her brow, she smiled. "Winner, Narumi Namikaze," Hayate said. As she looked up to her parents and nod, she glanced towards her older brother, but his eyes were still closed. Did he not watch that, she thought to herself. "She's good," Haku said, as Yakumo nodded as well. But inwardly, as Naruto saw it all, chunin skills in taijutsu, but regarding fuinjutsu and kinjutsu and ninjutsu, genin level, genjutsu must be very high. He was curious though to wonder what other skills she had in her sleeves. The next match, Shikamaru Nara versus Temari and Tintin. The two women made their way down instantly at Shikamaru's side. He took his good time getting there. When he did, the both of them started to argue with each other. He stood to the side as the proctor told him to begin. As Shikamaru watched as Tintin launched kunais and shurikens, but Temari blew them away as she opened her fan a bit. "Do you see this?" she said. "This is the first moon. The match will be over on the third moon." Tintin scowled as she jumped up, releasing two scrolls as she spun. "Twin rising dragons," she said. Hundreds of weapons came raining down. Temari opened her fan to the second moon as she blew all of them away. Tintin smirked though as she used chakra strings to control the weapons. However, it wasn't enough. Temari pushed them all back before she opened the third moon as she released a massive wave. Tintin screamed as wind blades inside of the wave. They battered her rather badly as she fell unconscious. As Temari placed her fan down below for her to fall directly on it. However, she was forced to walk away. What the hell? As she looked down to see her shadow connected to Shikamaru's. She tried to escape, but Shikamaru kept on forcing her into the wall, as her back was close to the wall but he was further. He then threw his head back with force as he knocked her out clean. They hit rather hard. "Now you know who it is to show brutality," he said. As the medics rushed over and take Tintin, many cuts on her arms and on her legs as well. Temari was taken as well. "Winner, Shikamaru Nara!" As Shikamaru made his way up, because she tried to go for overkill by making the girl fall on her fan. "You went for that as well," said Naruto, "and you let them play it out, so that you could handle the winner." Worthy strategy for Nara, said Naruto, as Shikamaru just nodded as he stood beside Naruto. The weapons were cleaned up. The next fight was Gaara of the Sun, Rock Lee, and Kai Kinjaiki. As they moved onto the arena floor, Rock Lee dropped into a Kinjutsu stance. Kai unleashed his bloodline on his arms, as Gaara started to release sand from his gort. The moment Hayate began the match, Rock Lee moved. As he arrived in front of Gaara, he sent a swinging kick, but it was blocked by sand, forcing him to jump back. As he continued to send a few kicks until he was knocked away, Gaara had to block a strange metal object. They seemed like metal balls that were shot towards him from Kai. Gaara sent in lashed out as Kai tried to dodge, but he wasn't as fast as Lee. He was instantly grabbed in the sand. Gaara smirked. "Sand burial," he said as he squeezed his hand. Cracking could be heard as it sounded like metal was being bended as Gaara kept on squeezing until Kai started to scream. The observers watched as Gaara kept on squeezing until the metal around his arm completely broke away and his body squished. As people couldn't believe it, the way he just slaughtered him so brutally. "Lee!" As Lee looked up, "Take them off!" As Guy gave him a thumbs up, Lee's eyes brightened up as he jumped on the fingers of the statue that was there and removed his weights. He then dropped them. Boom! They exploded once they reached the ground, shocking many of the spectators there. Lee then assaulted Gaara as his speed was now much greater, but Gaara's sand was still fast. As Lee started to assault him until his face started to crack. Lee was then battered away as he was captured once again, showing that Gaara's face was made of sand. It had a sand defense around it. A second defense. Lee was forced back as he hit the wall. "Sorry guys, Sensei. I have no other choice," he said. As he crossed his arms, gate of opening. "Open!" he said. As he rushed towards Gaara with more speed than before. Surprising Gaara as Gaara was knocked straight up in the air. He then appeared behind him and grabbed him in a bear hug and spun him until Gaara slammed viciously in the ground. As Lee jumped away in time though, Gaara got up though, looking quite pissed. Lee folded his arms once again. Gate of rest. Open! Gate of life. Open! As his skin turned red, his eyes became white as power started to swirl around him. He disappeared as Gaara felt a powerful kick that shattered part of his armor. He was sent flying only for Lee to kick him again and again and again and again and again as he was knocked around like a ping pong ball. "Reverse loaded," said Lee as he crashed Gaara in the ground. Lee was panting as he tried to fully get to his feet. Surprisingly, Gaara rose to his feet, his face and body cracking off. On the stands, the Genins couldn't believe what they were seeing. As Naruto watched the match with interest, Lee was impressing him so far. Lee realized that he had no other choice. Gate of pain. "Open," he said. Gate of closing. Open, as his speed seemed to just triple as he gave it everything that he got. He gave Gaara everything, but in the end, Lee collapsed down, panting heavily, as Gaara was on his back. Lee couldn't move as the sand kept on coming towards him. He tried to back away, but it lashed out and grabbed his leg and his arm. Lee cried out as Gaara pushed the sand to swallow him whole, but Guy appeared and bat the sand away. As Hayate appeared, due to the interference of a sensei, winner is Sabuku Gaara. It took them a while to fix by the arena, as Gaara made his way up, as he seemed to be fine despite that beating. What the hell? After the arena was fixed, the next match was Yujito versus Akisaki and Haku Momokai. "Good luck," said Naruto, as Haku nodded. Haku pulled out her senbons, as she threw them towards Akisaki the moment the match began. But he sunned Shin away, as they stabbed into the ground. When he reappeared, he had to raise the earth wall, courtesy of the great fireball from Yujito. He then slammed both hands in the ground. "Earth release. Earth golem," he said. The golem rushed towards Yujito. He then took off, shocking many of the people by his speed. Judging by his size, how was he that fast? As he reached her in seconds, she tried to block one of them, but he winced in pain. He was strong, as she dodged the rest. Meanwhile, Yujito had to jump away from the golem. The thing was like an ox, powerful and strong, but it had a huge disadvantage. It was quite slow. As she jumped back a few feet, surrounding herself with lightning chakra, she didn't move. Her speed was immense. "Lariat," she said. Her arm coated in lightning chakra, she tore the head clean off. She then turned and flashed through hand sign, fire style, phoenix sage flower, nail crimson. Several fireballs she launched shurikens at the same time. Akisaki was forced to release another massive wall to block them. He then flashed through hand sign once again, earth release flying, throwing stones. The wall exploded and shot forward. Haku had to run through hand sign, water style gunshot, she said. Water bullets slammed into the stones, but they were so powerful as they burst through some of her water bullets. She had to twist and dodge as she watched them impact with the wall and cracked it. At the same time, Yujito sped towards Akisaki and clashed with him. Haku went through hand sign, water release, water wave, as she made a water vortex and sent it towards her enemy. Seeing it coming, Yujito struck Akisaki in the leg. At a pressure point, she then jumped over him and kicked him right into it. The water wave slammed into him with great force, knocking him clean out. That stone ninja was good, Naruto thought. Earth ninjutsu good speed, strength, complementing his all-around fighting style. He was just unlucky those two controlled 4 of the 5 elements altogether. Their teamwork was good even if they don't know each other. Yujito close combat kept him at long distance, while Haku long range techniques supported her. They're good, but they now know each other perks. But Naruto did not believe that Haku could win this, as Yujito was a lot more skilled than she was letting on. Not to mention she also possessed the two tails, as he could sense it inside of her. Yujito looked towards Haku, wondering if she was about to kick the bucket and fall unconscious. Haku smirked. Do not underestimate me, as the place started to get cold. Yujito chuckled a bit. Lightning cackled around her. I would say the same to you. She didn't move. Haku raised her hand, ice spears. Yujito jumped away as Haku thrust her fist forward. They broke and shot towards her at immense speed. With great flexibility, Yujito dodged and twisted her body like a cat, jumping and leaping and twisting all over the place. Her nails turned to claws as she moved. She started to hack them to pieces as she tore right through them. She reached Haku as she clashed with her. As the both of them started fighting taijutsu, give up, said Yujito as she started to slash at her. Never, Haku said. Haku flipped away as she flashed two hand-signed demonic ice mirrors. She was surrounded in a dome as Yujito looked around. Now it's over. You cannot trap my movements, Haku said, as she appeared in each of the mirrors. As Yujito was hit in the shoulder, and then in the leg, as she was hit in the back. Enough! Yujito screamed as she leaped in the air. Fire release. Intelligent, hard work. There was a lot of chakra in her technique, but it came out small. The thing was like a time bomb. The moment it made contact with the ground, an explosion of flames went out. It was massive. Haku was blasted out of the mirror she was thrown, crashing on the ground. The effect even affected Yujito, as she seemed to not have full control over the jutsu. The pant leg of her clothing was burned. Luckily, she was coated in chalk, but Haku arms were burned and her legs were burned as well. Luckily, her clothes were still on her for her modesty. She was on the ground panting, as the burns really sting. The proctor flashed into the center. Winner, Yujito, he said. Her wounds started to heal as Naruto watched her. Oh yeah, definitely. The Jinjulike of the Nibi, he thought to himself. But guys, be in subscribe right here. For what's the next person do, like, subscribe, comment down below, turn on that bell notification, stay posted. Remember to share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Was Neglected and Reborn as a Son of Darkness, and enjoy that, guys. And also, go ahead and check out the brand new episode over making 3 of What If Naruto Was Created by the Otsutsuki clan, and enjoy that, guys. And yeah, without further ado, I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace.